Hello everyone. In this video we'll be learning how to calculate mode for group data. Mode normally in case of ungrouped data it's going to be simple observation without any calculation. The mode will be the one which is highly frequented. In case of group data it is the same, but there will be some kind of calculation and there will be some formula. For example, try to see this table. It says the following table gives the age distribution in a class. So compute the modal age, it says. So when you try to observe the frequency column here, 7, 6, 10, 12, 2 is there. So the mode must be found here because the one which is highly frequented is the number 10. So this is corresponding to the class which is from 20 to 24. But which number is exactly the mode? Is it 20 or 21, 22? That's the process. To get it, we have to follow some steps here. The first step, identify the modal class. How to identify the modal class? By observing the frequency, the one which is highly frequented. So identifying the modal class will not be a big deal. And the second step, applying the formula. To find the mode, there is some kind of formula here, as you see. The mode is equal to BL plus, in bracket, D1 over D1 plus D2 times I. What's BL? What's D1 and D2? What's I? It comes after identifying the modal class. In the modal class, we need to write, we need to prepare class boundary first of all. Then the lower boundary of the modal class will be BL, it says, and D1 is the difference between the frequencies of the modal class and the class before it, and D2 is the difference between the frequencies of the modal class and the next class, and finally the I is the size or the interval of the modal class. So let us apply everything and let us do this example, because examples are much better to be clear on it. So in this class, the first step, we need to prepare class boundaries. Let's do it. To prepare class boundary, obviously first of all try to observe the gap between each class. For example, consecutive class. Here the upper class is 14 and the lower class here it is 15. When you see the gap, it's 1, so that one has to be divided into 2, which is going to be 0.5. so this 0.5 will be added in every upper class of each class, and that 0.5 will be subtracted from each lower class to prepare modal class, class boundary. So let's do it, and let's create one column here. Therefore the 0.5 will be added in every upper class. So the upper classes of each class will be, look, as you see, it was 14, 19, 24 and 29. All of them are upper class. They become 14.5, 19.5. You see, 0.5 is added. When you go to the lower class of each class, the 10 will be 9.5 and the 15 will be 14.5 and 20 will be 9. It continues in that way. Therefore, we said already the modal class is the third class. Here it is. That is from 9.5 to 24.5. Okay, so we can write it modal class from 9.5 until 14 point, that's 19.5. okay, we have to correct it here. This is 19.5. so from 19.5 until 24.5. okay, let us keep this and then let us state the formula. What does the formula says? The mode is equal to BL plus D1 over D1 plus D2 times I. This is the formula. Let us get every input here. What's BL? Just read from here. So the BL is equal to 19.5 because the lower boundary of the modal class, which is here it is, and then D1, it's going to be the difference between the frequency of the modal class, which is 10, minus the before one, the class before it, that's D1. So 10 minus 6, that's D1, and D2, the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the next class, that is 10 minus 2. So D2 is equal to 10 minus 2. And the class interval, you can take the difference between the intervals here, the modal class interval. Here it is, 24 minus 19 will be just 5. Now let us insert everything and let us see the result. Therefore, now when we insert every component, what we have, the d1, that is 10 minus 6, which is 4, and the d2, 10 minus 8, that is 8, we said already. So the formula, the mode equal to bl plus bracket d1 over d1 plus d2 times I. Okay, in place of bl, the lower boundary, we got it already, 19.5 written, plus d1, that is 4 over 8 plus 4 multiplied by 5. So here now 8 plus 4, 12, we can simplify by 4, 1, this by 4, 3, and 5 over 3 remains here. 5 divided by 3, it's going to be 1.33. So what we will have, this implies the mode will be 19.5 plus 1.33. So when you add, the final answer is going to be 20.83. Yeah, that will be the mode. So finding mode is not a big deal actually, even in case of group data, but still there will be calculation. Remember, in case of ungrouped data, finding a mode, it was simple observation. By observing the frequency column, the one which is highly repeated would be corresponding to that frequency would be the data. But this time it's grouped, so we need to identify the number. So 20.83, it's fair. This number is found in the class interval in the third class. So that's the answer. We can add one more example. Here it is. It says the daily profit in Burr of 100 shops are distributed in the following table. Find the modal class, the modal value. First of all, which one is the modal class? That is here, the third class. 27 is the largest one. So we have to prepare class boundary. Normally the class boundary is going to be 0.5. So the modal class interval will be 200.5. Let's write it by another color to make it somehow visible. Okay, so it will be 200.5 until 300.5. So the gap is just 100. So that let us extract everything. But the modal class, obviously the modal class will be from 200.5 until 300.5. From this, what is the lower class boundary? BL 200.5, and D1, that's going to be the difference between the modal class and the next, this one, D1, and D2, here it is, the difference between the modal class and the previous one. So that D1 will be 27 minus 20. 27. The D1 is a before one. We have to take care of it. The D1, the modal class, and the before one. So 27, this is D1, this is going to be D2. The difference will be 9. And D2, the difference will be 7. And the interval, the class interval here, it's 100. Now let us state the formula. What does the formula says? Mode is equal to BL plus, in big bracket, D1 over D1 plus D2 multiplied with I, which is the BL is 200.5 plus, in big bracket, the D1, it's obvious 9 over, add it, which is 16, multiply with 100. Let us try to simplify. Actually we can, by 4, this is 4, this by 4, it will be 25. So we can't go on further, so we need to divide 9 by 4, that is 2.25, I hope, then multiply by 25, then add it. Finally the answer is going to be, so when you multiply, it will be 200.5 plus 9 divided by 4, I said it is, So add it and multiply, divide then multiply, which is 56.25 it will be. Then when you add 200.5, it will be 256.75. so we applied the same process, but we minimize our step. How? We didn't prepare here class boundaries. The reason, because just we observe the gap between each class, like the upper class boundary and the lower class, the difference here is 1. So 0.5 will be added and subtracted from upper and lower. So what do? We identify the modal class, then we play the game there. So that's the way how to find mode for group data. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thank you.